This is lesson 5.3, elementary algebra, more trinomials to factor. Notice the method 1 that they have here, factoring by trial and error. I don't teach the factoring by trial and error. I think I do it because of my Algebra 1 teacher back in 1974 that ripped me off. Taught us trial and error and didn't teach us that there was an easier, better way to do these. And I've always been bitter toward Mr. DeLeo since then, so I refused to teach the trial and error because I had to do it all those years. So let's jump ahead to method 2, factoring by grouping. Middle of the page, step 1, form the product AC. Okay, so I'm just going to explain what we're doing rather than do something screwy like try to follow their instructions here. We are following their instructions, we're just doing it a little bit different. Okay, so first step, you're going to take this number times this number, okay? And we get negative 24. So what we're doing is we're looking for two numbers multiplied together that give me negative 24 and added together give me negative 10x. So notice the reason we're doing this is because we have a number in here in front of our x squared. And we can't factor a 3 out because there isn't a 3 that goes into this, nor is there a 3 that goes into there. So we can't do anything there. Okay, so two numbers multiplied together give us 24. What do we have? 8 and 3, 6 and 4, 12 and 2, 24 and 1. Let's see, 5, 6. Okay, so those are our factors that when we multiply we get 24, but this could be negative, or the second number could be negative. So these are all factors that if we were, to multiply, we'd get negative 24. So those are the ones that we're going to look at. So one of these sets of numbers is going to work. Well, they all multiply to give me negative 24, but now I need to find one that added gives me a negative 10x, or a negative 10. So which of these, when I add them, give me a negative 10? Negative 12 and 2. Negative 12 plus 2 is negative 10, so I'm going to pick that one. Okay, because this one gives me a negative 5, this one gives me a negative 2, negative 23, 8 minus 3 is 5, that gives me a 2, that gives me a 10, and that gives me a 23. So this is the only one that gives me a negative 10. So what I do is I rewrite the whole problem, but instead of writing 10x, I take these numbers and write them this way. It doesn't matter if you could have written this as 3x squared plus 2x minus 12x minus 8. It wouldn't have mattered which order you put these numbers in. So don't worry about that at all. Let's see if I can just leave it the way it was. Okay. What I usually do, and this is a very good tip here, I want this number to be positive if possible. If I would have written it the other way, I would have gotten 3x squared plus 2x minus 12x minus 8. That would have been negative, which would have worked. It's just a real pain in the neck to deal with because now you're dealing with that negative sign. Remember a couple lessons ago where you'd have that negative sign out there and they said be careful when that middle term or that middle sign is negative and you run into a mess. So if you can make that positive, just order your numbers so that the positive is the middle sign there. Alright, so now what we're going to do is we're going to group these just like that. Okay? And this sign right there is going to be all by itself outside the parenthesis. Now we look at this one. Is there anything I can factor out? Well, yeah, I can take a 3 and an x out, and that leaves me with an x minus 4. Okay? Because remember, this is 3 times 4. We took the 3 out, leaving me with the 4. Alright, we're going to do the same thing here. Let's go ahead and write it as 2x minus 2 times 2 times 2. We're going to take out what's common, a 2, so it gets rid of that, gets rid of one of those, left with an x minus 4. 4. And one of the things that you'll notice, you will always get the numbers in the parentheses. They will be the same. Alright, and then we go back to what we used to do. 3x plus 2, took the numbers outside the parenthesis and wrote one time the number inside the parenthesis. And there you are done. Okay, so you're probably thinking, oh my gosh, this is so hard. I don't know that I can keep up with this on how to do this. You will. It's not as terrible as what it first appears. Alright. Next example. 4x squared minus x minus 3. Let's put a 1 there just so we know it's there. Alright, first step. 4 times negative 3. This times this. That gives me negative 12. Two numbers multiplied together give me negative 12. So negative 12 and 1, 12, negative 1. 3, negative 4, negative 3, 4. 6, negative 2, negative 6, and 2. So those all multiplied together give me negative 12. Which ones add up to give me negative 1? And I'm not going to belabor this, that one right there. 3 minus 4 is negative 1, so I know that one's it. So then I write the problem over again, putting these in place of the negative 1x. Okay, that right there. But notice, I have a negative sign there. I don't want that there, so we're going to switch those around. And again, you don't have to switch them around, but it makes a real mess if you don't. So if you can, switch them around so that the positive sign is that middle term, or that middle sign there. Now we'll look at these, and let's see what we can factor out. I can factor out a 4 and an x, and I'm left with x minus 1, because I took both of these out, and I had to have a 1. I have to have something in its place. I can't just make it a 0. Alright, and I taught you that before, so what else do I have common? I have a 3, don't have an x that I can pull out, and that's going to be 1 as well because I pulled the 3 out. And again, this and this are the same. So 4x plus 3 times x minus 1, and you're done. Okay, one more. 8x squared minus 2x minus 15. Okay, I'm going to multiply these two together. 15 times 8 is negative 120. Yuck. Now I've got to find all the factors of negative 120. Okay, one of the things that helps, because there's a lot of numbers multiplied together that give you 120. I mean, we can do negative 12 and 10, 12, negative 10, 60 and 2, 30 and 4, 15 and 8. I mean, the list goes, we'll have such a huge thing. So one of the things I do is it's like, okay, so when I put the two numbers together, like 12 and 10, multiply negative 12 times 10 and I get negative 120. Then I look and see how far apart are these two numbers. Well, these two numbers are 2 apart. If I were to have gone, well, let's see, 60 and 2 gives me 120. Well, there's 58 numbers, or 58 between those two. So I know this isn't going to work because I need to get a difference between these two of 2. So I know that the two numbers that I'm multiplying together are going to have to be numbers that are close together. So therefore I'm going to use probably one of those. But which one? Alright, so I need it to be negative. So again, the largest number has to be negative. So 8x squared minus 12x plus 10x minus 15. Notice my middle number, I made it a plus sign. I did not switch these two around because then my negative 12 would be here, and then I'd have a negative there, and don't want that. Alright, so let's group these. What do I have common there? Well, I have 2 times 2 times 2 minus 2 times 2 times 3. Okay, so this is my 8 and this is my 12. What can I pull out? I can pull out 2 2's and 1x and 1x. So 2 2's 4x, left with this, and one of these x's minus 3, and no x's because I pulled one x out of both of them. Alright, let's look at this one here. 2 times 5x minus 3 times 5. Alright, see what I can pull out. I have a 2 here, don't have a 2 here. I have a 5 here, I have a 5 here. So I can pull out my 5's, but that is it. And then that leaves me with 2x minus 3. And they are the same. They will always be the same. If they're not, you did something wrong. 4x plus 5 and 2x minus 3. And I am done with that one. Okay, so that's it for lesson 5.3.